Signal.
There's certain fingernail polish on so you don't get date rape.
Yeah, we're live.
Hey everybody, Sean Dotson here with the flip side, and this is your after I almost said weekend update. This
your weekend update
party, and it's your favorite beer or non-PC beer drinking, thrill of the chase talking show. Yes, folks, I'm already on my first beer. Toby went long. I'm already going. So I'm at Three Rivers Brew Distillery in Farmington, New Mexico, and I'm actually drinking a 10 cup porter from Ska Brewery here. This is a really heavy porter, almost like a Guinness. So cheers to all of you out there. Cheers.
You're going to crap yourself in the morning after drinking that one.
Maybe. So once again, I'm here with my co-host, David DeCall, K-Pro, and our special guest tonight, which is Justin, or Minotaur Moreno, as everybody knows him on the forum. So Minotaur, give you a chance to say hi to everybody there in YouTube.
Yeah, hey everybody, my name is Justin. I go by Minotaur Moreno online. Been in the case for 5 years now, and we're just going to talk a little bit about my experiences, what I've seen. Some people come and go, and then hopefully maybe at the end I can give you those coordinates.
Yeah.
It's a brave move, brother.
So you think the treasure's there, or what is your opinion?
Well, let's put it this way, Cal. I have 20 solves, I would say, over the last 5 years. I would say 5 basically in every state, I would say.
In every state?
Every state.
Very
good.
Like
I said, when I was describing to them before the show, I consider myself kind of like that coin funnel. You know, like the thing where the coin goes around and around and around and around and eventually.
Yeah, but I don't mind that at all. I actually highly respect that, even though I'm the exact opposite. I'm one solve, one place, but you're multiple states, multiple solves.
I don't care how he wants to solve it. I don't care what state it is. I don't care how to solve it. I don't care about the methodology. Try everything until something sticks. If it's we put a little bit more focus on that, and then once it sticks for a little bit, I'm going to focus a little bit more on that. And eventually, that coin just keeps going down and down, and eventually, where I think I've got it now is falls in the hole.
Yep. So, hi, everybody. Real quick, I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat room that we got in here. I want to say hi to Poe2, who is the front-running bastard or bitch. I don't know if there's a man or a woman. We're just going to call him the front-runner tonight. But they were the first one in. So, Poe2, hey, Journeyman. We've got Gay Delkin. Eugene, how are you? Mike Cowlings or Calazars. Steve Rimple. Jonesy1. Hey, Jonesy, how are you? Sean Martinez. Going down the list here. Illinois Ghost, how are you? Virgil Kane is my name. Journeyman. Mountain Digger. MD, how are you? Good to see you. Anon. Going down the list. Make sure I get everybody. Jimmy Fast, how are you, brother? RC. And I think I caught everybody. Denise Bagley, how are you? Dak, DAK, David Dow. Sakar. There's Po2 again. Chris Bettles. Chris, so you're in San Fran. That's awesome, brother. I'm going to have to connect up with you so we can get you on the show, because I know you're going to be here in the States for a couple months. We will definitely connect with you. Mr. Bryce, how are you? Fox Gaming. Joe, hey, how's it going? ES or Eric, good to see you. Steve Silverman. And William Ortiz. So I think I caught up with everybody. So again, Justin had a chance just to kind of say hi to everybody, but I want to get a chance for everybody to get to know Minotaur Moreno a little bit if you don't know him already on the forums. But I believe, Justin, you said you've been in this for about 5 years. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. I started in 2013. I was a consultant going to San Diego, and I saw it in that Hemisphere magazine.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about that first initial impression and how you got started and what took you so long to get to boots on the ground.
I'm one of those people to answer your second question first. I'm one of those people that I need to be, if I'm going, it's because I think I know exactly where it is. Like, I'm not leaving it up to chance. I'm in Dallas, so I don't have the luxury of just going every day, So spend vacation time and money with the family, then I'm going to have to know exactly where I'm going to go. I'm going to have 5 to 10 spots that I'm going to. I'm going to go down the list. So it took me 5 years, literally, that I was – I've said earlier that I had 20 20 solves that I all think are good. I think the problem with this is there's so many different things that like line up. And so you have, in my opinion, you have to go by what the dust jacket says. That tells you how to solve. You have to have, yes, you can get all 9 clues, right? And you can get it right. So technically you can solve the poem. You can solve the treasure chest with the poem. I think the book gives you the hints to tell you which of those 1,000 combinations is the right one. And sorry, where was I going?
Well, tell me about the dust jacket. Do you think Fenn Forrest actually put that much effort into the dust jacket?
Oh,
as far as solving,
100%. I think you open it and he tells you how to solve it. Right there is unlock the keys to this poem. You have to unlock something. How do you unlock it? It's a digital combination lock, right?
Yeah.
You got to solve. Once you get the right combination up, you're right. But the problem is you can have 8 right, and if you don't have that last one, you still think that you're completely wrong, right?
Yeah.
And so it's the exact wording, but it's something like unlock something to the. I forget what it is, but
and as you found out, you can have all 9 clues right and still not find it, right?
Yes.
You want to tell us about the?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been in this for 5 years, right? So after probably 2 or 3 years, you start just banging your head because you're just like, I have all these good solves, but nothing that I'm completely sure about, right? And so along comes Breakfast, Tea, and Bourbon, right? Which is a treasure hunt last year that comes out, and it guarantees you that there's going to be somebody's going to solve it within a year. So last fall. So a bunch of us that had been banging our heads came together and decided to say, well, let's try this and see how bad we are at this or how good we are at this, right? So after, hundreds of private posts, like we ended up getting a spot where we thought it was. And I think this is where I'm going to share my screen, right? So
here we go, folks. We don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. Kids away.
So listen. So when people say, how dumb can the 12-foot searcher be? Last spring, the month before it was found, and then a week before it was found on 2 different trips, there's me. This is my daughter taking the picture in Hot Springs, Arkansas, in the middle of nowhere. Well, Hot Springs National Park, but like in the middle, off the beaten path. Me walking to where I think it is, there's the boulder, and there's where the flute was that you find the $50,000. I wiped off the brown rock twice on 2 different that it was under. Because I thought since it was a national park, that means it's buried, but apparently that doesn't mean it's buried. So I literally dusted off the brown rock. And I did it twice. So when people say, how easy is that? Or how hard it is to be the 12-foot searcher?
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally possible. A lot of people have proven that by it is what it is guy hiding his cardboard box in plain sight. But Justin, did you have a picture of the brown rock, a close up of that?
No, I didn't think the brown rock mattered.
You would have more than took a picture of it. You would have found the damn flute.
I definitely noticed. But see, what you don't realize is this is all just overgrowth, right? This is all
pine needles, dirt.
Right. So if you actually would wipe this away, these are all like little rocks about this big stacked on top of each other.
Wow. So
thousands and thousands of rocks.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well hid.
Yeah.
Right. So if there's thousands of rocks in the search area that I just went to, it's the same kind of area. There's just thousands and thousands of these rocks. So
how big was the flute?
That big.
Yeah. And
broken down in a case.
That's what she said.
No, literally, if you go around this rock right here, it's a lot steeper than what it looks like. But if you go around here, you wipe off all this overgrowth because there's a ton of this overgrowth, right? And you'll just see this brown rock, and it did stick out because it was a brown rock compared to all these white rocks. But I'm from the city. I'm in Dallas. I don't know. It wasn't like when it was obvious to somebody else, it was not obvious to me.
Okay, so let me ask you something else, Justin. Do you think? Let's just assume that you kind of knew that was the brown rock. How good were the clues? Did they get you within, say, 12 feet?
I just followed the clues. That's the other thing I think a lot of people forgot about. You keep going down this trail. What got everybody hooked up is there's these things called balance rock that are like another 200 feet down. So what Pete did, he put it about 200 yards up from where everybody goes, and then to a place where nobody goes.
Yeah.
But he said that he put red herrings all throughout the book, and I was a part of it for a little bit. And then once he came out with the red herrings part, I mean, Forrest has said you're going to go with confidence. I would think he's not going to do the red herrings.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Like, if you just followed exactly what he said in the book to do, instead of going, okay, everybody goes, walk down to the balance rock where everybody goes to. If you go to the 200 steps or whatever he said to do, this is when you turn left. This is where you turn left, and there's this. This is what you see, but nobody else. Everybody walks past this to the balance rock.
So the real question is, is your search style, is your solution style good enough for Forrest Fenn?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, here's if you're watching what the chat room is saying, that
I can't see the chat room anymore.
Well, yeah, Ben Downing is
I can see
saying
the chat room.
Heartbreaking story, but hopefully we can learn something from this. And I think Virtual Kane's
100%, like 100%. But that's like when it comes to the 12-foot searcher, that's how you become the 12-foot searcher.
Well, let's go to that whole 12-foot rule that Forrest that we recently asked Forrest. And what you're saying, Justin, is good, because when you look out there, you're seeing all that overburden. You're seeing leaves, you're seeing pine needles, you're seeing all this stuff that's laying over on the ground. Now, if Forrest hypothetically just did lay this on the ground next to a pine tree or something, there, man, in my search area, when I've been looking, there's pine trees everywhere, and the amount of 8 years of pine needles falling on top of this thing could have completely covered it up.
You saw that picture. That's one season.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows how much is there? And maybe that's why, like the way I asked him the question, he had said in 2014 in scrapbook, 78, first of all, I've never said anybody was within 12 feet. It's highly unlikely anyone would get that close and not find it. So for me, like every time I've been out there searching, and there's some people that agree with this and some people that don't, I've always thought to myself, all I need to do is get within 12 feet of this thing to have a chance of finding it. And then so I asked him that question, like, okay, now 4 years later, do you still feel the same way? Meaning that if somebody gets within 12 feet of this thing, are they likely to find it or highly unlikely not to find it? And Forrest then said, better not answer that question, Sean. Sorry. And, Illinois Ghost asked him in a very similar way, not exactly. And he answered him, I don't know, Richard,
Yeah, because aren't we all asking the question, why the hell can't they see this treasure from 12 feet? And there has been people between 12 and 200 feet, and they are searchers. We don't think they're complete idiot imbeciles. There's somebody who's smart enough to kind of get into the area. We don't know how many clues they have solved, 3 or 4, according to Fenn. We're assuming it's the same person, the 200-foot guy, but geez, it's kind of.
You're smirking over there, Christy. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm watching the chat. I'm sorry, I'm watching the chat.
Yeah.
What's she saying? What's going on in the chat? What are they saying?
Bad thing.
Oh, what kind of pine? Mountain digger, just normal pine trees. Pinyon pines, pine. They're all intermixed in there. Sage, everywhere I'm searching has all 3 of those different conifers in there. But the one thing Mountain Digger did say, because, and this was over on Chase Chat, I believe it was on Chase Chat, or was it over on Harry's? I can't remember. Mountain Digger, you're in here. You can correct me. But, the way, thank you. The way Illinois Ghost, asked that question, he said, will it be obvious if they're within 12 feet? And what was good about that is it really kind of coincided, and Mountain Digger brought this up about a Q&A, and I can't remember when it came out, but someone had asked, how far away from the blaze is the treasure? And Forrest then responded by saying, I didn't take the measurement. But logic tells me if you don't know where the blaze is, it doesn't matter. If you can find the blaze, the answer to your question will be obvious. So now Mountain Digger brought up a really good point saying, okay, well, if it's not obvious of finding it, if you're within 12 feet, then does that mean the treasure is not within 12 feet of the blaze? And we don't know. I just thought it was a really good question and something, all 5 of us can talk about. But I think Mountain Digger brought up a really good point. Thank you. Mountain Digger was on
Mountain
Thor.
Digger just clarified it was on Thor. Yeah,
let's all say Thor because, Chrissy pays us $1 every time we say it.
Thor. Kaboom.
Just it was Mountain Digger. I'm just making sure the chat room is represented. That's all.
Yeah, but that was a good point that Mountain Digger brought up, and I don't know if that was the point of the way IG or Rick, or phrased that question, but it was good. We still got the same kind of answer from Forrest, but in my opinion, I think he doesn't know because he has not been back to that spot. He hasn't, sent Shiloh or somebody else to check on, or he personally hasn't been back to it. So he just doesn't know. Some weeds could have blew in there.
Yeah, but I think that also tells you that there's only one spot to see the blaze, in my opinion.
What's that?
I don't know if the blaze is the right place, but I'm saying that those comments tell me that you can only stand in one spot to see the blaze, whether that be you can see it 1,000 feet away or right in front of your face. Like, there's only one spot you can see the blaze.
Well, David, that sounds a lot like Poe, doesn't it?
Does sound a lot like Poe, the Devil's Seat. Exactly.
Yep.
He taught me all about that. Wherever you are on this damn screen, I don't know anymore.
Are you guys familiar with the Gold Bug?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christy,
because I posted it all over. What's the name of that site again?
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I'm out of money.
Thor.
Skull.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Mountain Digger. Obvious versus visual. Yeah. And Sean Martinez had a question here. He said, if the blaze is small, it'll be easier to locate the chest. If the blaze is large, it'll make it much more difficult. Yeah, I agree. I get what you're saying there. Yeah.
But say that you're on a ledge and you're looking out between like a V and a rock and you see all the way out to something. And
yeah, like a gun sight or something.
I like what you're saying.
That you've been saying about this thing. Yeah.
Chapter Surviving Myself in the book. The poem purist is talking about the book.
Oh my God, the book and the poem. Oh,
166. Where is it in 166? That's what Sean Dotson.
My question about the poem.
That's your poem purist.
Okay, so literally, and again, I've been there. I have 20 different songs, right? That all could be technically. I mean, you go to Kerwin, you can make everything line up perfectly in Kerwin, right?
Sure.
Like in Wyoming, you can go to Yellowstone, you can make it perfectly line up in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Be something.
Trust me.
Yeah, whether it be in the poem, like in some kind of code, or in the book, there has to be something that tells you which of the thousands of options are correct.
Yeah.
Where that is?
Well, there kind of is.
There's no way to narrow it down. There's what? Sean has the number like 66,000 words or something. How do you pick the 4 that's right? I mean, I think it's bunny holes. There's no, statistically speaking, it's not, I think it's more of a distraction to look at it than just.
Well, I mean, and the architect has told us so many times that there are subtle clues sprinkled in the stories. There's no doubt that they're there, but and being able to identify those without allowing your personal biases to make you believe that those are true, to me is virtually almost impossible until you can really, find the treasure. And then you can go back and say, okay, yeah, this, and this may have helped me. Or that you can, with any level of certainty, nail down, the first clue, So
Sean, if you were to go back to it at the beginning of when you came onto the hunt, if you were to do it over again, would you not look at everything else and just look at the 166, or would you want to look at everything?
I would look at just the poem.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but all four states are in the poem, so.
Well, and that's what I want to ask Justin. Justin, you've had one boots on the ground, right?
Yep.
Okay, and you've read The Thrill of the Chase, correct?
Many times.
Okay, so after being boots on the ground one time in your spot, and after having read The Thrill of the Chase many times, after having studied and learned the poem, can you find hints in the book that talk about your search area? Yeah,
that's the only way. In my opinion, that's the only way to solve this thing. Like, you can't do it without the book unless you're the guy that lives in the spot and you can get all 9 clues because you just happen to live there.
Yeah. But I had this discussion with Cynthia. She's had 200 boots on the ground in New Mexico. She always had TTOTC validating where she was going to go. She's now up north. She has validation in the book. It's like you can validate everything because there's
100%. Well, I agree with that. But I go back to breakfast tea and bourbon. There was 2 spots we needed to go to: Ringgold, Georgia, or Hot Springs, Arkansas. Both of them had the exact perfect solves for both spots, right? So you have to pick. Like, at some point, you do have to pick.
So have you ruled out Colorado altogether?
I can make the book work to a solve in Ringgold, Georgia.
Can you? But now knowing where the flute was and everything in breakfast tea and bourbon, was there any confirmation in?
No, that's what I'm saying. Literally, literally one of our people went to Ringgold, Georgia, and did the same thing. They said it should be right here. It made everything line up. All of us lines up.
But that breakfast tea and bourbon, I don't think there's not a parallel, because he said there's 3 valid solves, because he wanted business model to do 3 different ones. And like once he started saying red herrings and there's 3 valid solves, and he started, and then I'm going to put a video out, and then he didn't put the video out. It was like, dude, I'm done. I mean,
that's why it's been having been solved for 8 years, because Forrest made it general. Like that's the whole point. Like in my opinion,
Forrest Fenn has a lot more class. He is a very charming guy, very intelligent. He's not ruined this game in those kinds of ways. Maybe he's ruined it in other ways, but
I'm not saying I think it's a great treasure. Like I'm not saying about Forrest. I'm saying more just I think he wanted it to be general so it could match up to the 4 different states. So you'd have to look in the 4 different states.
Yeah.
But you have to have, like Toby says, you have to pick the right combination.
Yeah.
But Sakar is asking a question: why did it take so long to create the poem like an architect? The answer is not simply to follow 9 clues via landmarks. If the poem doesn't confirm Warm Waters Halt, then why did it take so long? I'm kind of following what you're saying, Sakar, but I think a big part of, I think like Eric Sloan, he wanted to wait till almost 80 in order to do this, because I honestly think he probably didn't think he was going to live much longer past 80. I mean, he really figured maybe he might have passed away. So I think that was a big reason why he waited to hide it to when he did hide it. And he might have been surprised at himself that he's lived this long. Who knows?
Maybe he was doing like I did tonight. I took my heart medicine with a beer. I was like, heart medicine in, take it with a beer. I'm like, all
with
right.
a big warning label about drinking alcohol with your medicine, right?
Right.
Well, what Will brings up a good point in the chat. He was around at a time there was more states involved. So, I mean, why not rule out more states? He's at the point saying, absolutely, believe me, I've asked him.
Quit talking about states.
I know, I'm just saying that, but why?
Look at it as one area.
But wait a minute.
There's a reason for it, though. I think there's something.
Well, there's a big reason for it. Let me get closer to the camera. It's more impressive.
Yeah,
I like it. There's a big reason for it. Think about why he won't rule out. Holy crap.
Back away.
That's what she said. Think about what the hell was I saying? Think about the number of people that are out there in the field that are searching, and they're thinking they can get within 10 or 12 feet of this thing and they can find it. Okay, now Fenn won't answer that question anymore, and it's like, well, holy shit! I just spent X number of hundreds, thousands of dollars walking around thinking if I'm 10 to 12 feet from it, I'm going to find it. All right, that's gonna piss some people off.
Wait, but that happened to some people off back a few years ago. Why did he roll those out and not these?
Oh, what's the one major geological feature that runs through all 4 search states that a lot of people
Rocky Mountains.
Now that everybody believes is Warm Waters Halt, Continental Divide. If you rule out a state, then it could technically rule out that one potential.
Well, if he were to rule out New Mexico, think of all the thousands of dollars, the tens of thousands or millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Spent in that state.
They would no longer have May 28th as Forrest Fenn Day either. They would take that back.
Yeah, not there. They'd move it up to Colorado.
I think there could be something more to it. There's a reason that he's gone to 4. And I've asked him the question, is there a reason other than just spite and you're just dug in of the 4? And he said no. It's just, I mean, he's not ruling any more out. But
I think because they're all connected together.
I think those states are all states that he passed through on his way from Texas.
Is this the 4 state? I mean, that's starts to get into
turn it upside down. That's the way you're supposed to read it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, look! There's the map.
It could be, David. Don't rule it out. Use your imagination.
Right there. He just ruled out New Mexico. It's not in there.
My question is why can't he say it's buried? Like what technically?
That's a great point.
That's a big
question. Everybody thinks it has to be on BLM land because you can't bury it. There is a reason Forrest can't say it. Why is the reason that Forrest says it can? He cannot say it's buried. Why?
I think if he said it was buried, it would rule out a lot of areas. It would rule out a lot of areas.
If he says it's buried and it's found.
Well, I think he can't say it's buried because people will be digging up the whole damn place, really. And
or he tells us in the poem through some of the words if it is or isn't. We just haven't become wise enough how to interpret that. I don't know.
And I think buried has to do with death symbolism. His final resting place is a burial.
I was Budneck. He says it's because it's not buried. I think he does not answer things that give too much. And you guys helped me with wording last night, and I think it helped so much. Every single one of those questions I sent him was worded in a way we would have gotten something. I don't think he does that. I think he takes some of the poorly worded questions, and I'm the first to say I'm the poorly worded question person. And it wasn't. I mean, look what happens when we all work together to build out questions that there was no wiggle room. He's like, nope, too much of a hint, not going to give it out. Yeah. I think that's the reason for the buried. I think it would rule out too many, and like you said, people will get upset, and that's their search location, and blah blah blah.
Well, and even in the lure video, he said we shouldn't define the terms. If some weeds blew in there and covered it up, is it buried? Is it sepultured? Right. Is it entombed? Right. I mean, there's different.
But he also said he has nothing more to say, and how many scrapbooks and how many
wasn't that good?
Try shutting that guy up. Whatever.
Yeah. Hey, that was scary when he said, I really don't have anything more to say. That was like, holy shit! Come on, Fenn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how much has he said since then?
He's been more talkative in this year than he has, and it's not so much in the scrapbooks and Q&As. He's been more talkative just because of I think he's becoming more attuned to this YouTube sensation that we've been having that's growing. It's separate and different from the forums. It's a new media for him, and he's excited. He's like, wow, this is.
I thought about that. That is a great point. Like the way that I see it, there's iterations, right? Of the first one is the blog, Dow's blog. Then there's AdWords, right? Now if you go by phases, this would be the YouTube phase, right?
3.0. Yep.
And I think he loves it, and I think he uses it because he's a great marketer. I think he uses all of it because he's he's doing what I would do. Like he's doing. If you make that much money, you're just having a ball.
Oh my gosh, Justin! After visiting Fenn's house and visiting Fenn galleries.
What?
I think
yes, it's true. And there's photographic evidence. After visiting Fenn galleries, I was very impressed with Fenn galleries, which has a different name now. Man, the amount of detail and effort Fenn went to in the Fenn galleries, the inside. There's another vault. Do you realize there's a vault in the Fenn galleries?
Did you know that there is a lab? Okay, D-Call, talk about your visit. And Mike just said he was there.
There's a Willie in the pond.
No, there.
Bing.
Okay, so D-Call, you should talk a little bit about your opportunity to be at Forrest House. I think you.
Well, yeah. I mean, but first, let me say, the Fenn galleries. Okay.
He's not giving you $1 every time to come.
Okay, Fenn built the Fenn galleries. This is very insightful about who Fenn is, okay, and what he's like. And since I'm a metal worker, I noticed this 100-year-old safe or bank vault door that he put in. It must have took many hours, maybe 100 hours, at least 50 hours to install that thing properly. Okay, and then you got to rebuild the walls around this vault. And it's a 1910 vault from Gallup, New Mexico or something. But just that, and then these old, the structure of everything, how he obviously created all those fireplaces, that igloo-shaped fireplace in his house, and in the Fenn galleries they're the same. Now, I know it's probably a local style, but he went to there was no detail left out in Fenn galleries or in Fenn's house.
But even look at how he sets up his books. You got to see the one side
I know. I want to see more. I didn't even get a word in edgewise thanks to Covert, but no offense, Covert. And because
you guys all were just falling all over yourselves.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. It was. I mean, it was very fun, and there's a few books on the shelf. If I get a chance to go back, I'm gonna grab a couple of those books and check them out. There's
just take them and run.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'll put some moccasins in my pocket. I'm out.
Willie will take you down. Willie will take you down. He's trying.
I got to give it to the guy at his age to buy a puppy. That's gutsy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's gonna live. I mean, he's gonna live for a while. Like he's having so much fun with this. Like, but I agree with you, Nicole. Like he has the mind of an accountant. Like he's very meticulous. Like everything.
Yes, he's flamboyant. He's eccentric. He's attention to detail.
Right. It's 99% is 1% wrong. It's not 99.
No, but he is like, I put him more 50. He might be the architect, all that, but he is imaginative. He's
right. But you can be imaginative and still detail oriented.
If you have sat and heard his stories as he goes through, I mean,
he's a storyteller. He's sentimental. I believe this is how we solve the poem, is by thinking like him, with the sentimental approach to history, sentimental approach to books and things, sentimental approach to artifacts. I mean, I
think that's one of the layers that you talk about, DeCall. I think there's the literal translation that is the poem is a map to the treasure, but there's also that other layer that does have, that
symbolism and meaning, emotion. Okay. Sure. Fenn is an emotional guy. He's a full page ad guy. That's what I always like to bring up. When he advertises Fenn Galleries, he went all in. All the money he had, he put it on one last full page ad. It's all or nothing, high stakes, all in sort of poker player Fenn, No,
but more than his galleries, and I haven't been, and I will next time, but look at how meticulous every single item was in his just den area, let alone his hall. I mean, he was meticulous down to but then he told and he could go over to, let me tell a story about
He has a story about every damn thing.
Homer brought something up and he's like, I have a book on that from like 1500. And he walked over and got it out. And Hobart one just literally lost his mind.
A book from the 1500s.
Therein lies the Fenn Museum.
Yeah.
The key. I saw the key. You had a key in your hand. The reason I'm so into the key is because it says unlock, right? So you saw a key. I saw a picture. Did that have did it open up at the top, or what was the key like to that lock?
Which, the key to what?
Did you notice the key?
Right. No. There was a picture.
Key to the vault.
Right. No, there's a lock in Mike Calzar's video. He showed you some lock.
His lock mechanism.
You're holding the key.
Yeah, I did see that key. Yes.
I think that's his philosophy on how to solve the poem. That's
the key.
Yeah, Christy, you have the dust jacket, right? You have the book right there, right?
Yep.
Can you read the dust jacket? Can you read the
inside cover? Yep.
Sean's got it memorized.
Yeah, go ahead, Sean. You can do it by memory. You want me to read the whole thing?
No, just the part where it's quoted, where he's quoted.
Yep.
Unlock the clues that are scattered
amongst the pages.
And you can go home with the bronze chest that is so full of gold and precious jewelry that it's almost too heavy for one person
to carry.
Which I also think is a very important thing. But that's my point. I think it's scattered amongst the pages. I think that tells you how to clues that are scattered amongst these pages. It's not the poem. It's if he died today.
Well, Justin, let me ask you, what is the best hint you've ever seen in the book? And I can tell you mine if you're interested, but
all right, you go first. Show me yours.
Okay, so
here we go.
All right, so we're not going to spend much. Well, the tiger skin, okay? That's the ugliest picture in the book. It's by far the ugliest, stupidest picture in the book. But when you think about my solve, you got a tiger salamander on the side of a hill, and you got a tiger skin on the side of a tin roof. Okay, is that a hint? I have no idea, but it's the best alignment I have in the poem.
All right, so Masquerade, right? Remember Masquerade, the treasure hunt?
Yeah.
What was the treasure hunter, the treasure person that did the treasure hunt? What was he best at? He was an artist, right?
I like that. I like what you're saying.
All the clues, the arts, right?
Yeah.
That's Fenn best at.
Storytelling.
Writing, right? Yeah, the writing. So where do you think the clues? And trust me, after 5 years, I was the biggest guy on. There's something in the drawings. There's something. There's a rock well somewhere. I mean,
but here's the thing: if you have 200 solves like Cynthia's had, and every single solve has a tie to teach it means you can't solve it that way. In my opinion, it can't be the technique. If every single solve has something that you can type. He's put the kitchen sink in that damn TTOTC. It can't.
I know. And we all have this spectacular list. I call it the spectacular list because mine is spectacular. Yours is spectacular. Everybody has this fantastic list.
Yay.
And,
he only said one time in the book what's important.
And people are losing their marriage. They're mortgaging their house. They're doing all kinds of crazy things because they have a spectacular list. And me and Sean argue all the time. It's not good enough. You know,
right? Well, listen. That's why Minotaur Moreno. That's why Justin. You know, that's why I love this guy. He embodies every single thing every searcher out there goes through. You know, you put your time and your treasure in this, and if you're lucky, you convince your significant other, your spouse, your mate, whomever, that you're on this thing. And you have all these great dreams of what you're going to do when you find that chest. And you buy maps and you invest time in Google Earth and you research and you do all these wonderful things, and you hop on an airplane or you drive a car and you get out there and you're like, well, where in the shit is this thing?
Oh, but here's a great example. I talked to Sean Martinez and his girlfriend at the Blue Corn, and they were so pumped because he was going out, she was going out first time. They had some sort of emergency. They didn't get out. It's called balance. You don't go out 600 times if you can afford more than 2. You don't mortgage. You don't screw up your head. It's simple. And I think we're focusing on the 7% rather than the 93. We dream about it. We want to do it, but we are sane people. Just don't do, I want to jump on a plane again and again and again once I get us all. But when I do, I want to do it all that. But we're balanced. And I think we focus too much on the couple percent that are the big stories that are train wrecks. Let's stop focusing on the train wrecks and find ourselves. Yes, let's not do that. But we focus so much on the couple of train wreck stories rather than the hundreds of thousands that partner with. I'm going to take my kids out to Yellowstone next year. I'll find a solve, or I'll take Cynthia solve and we'll go out together. But I'm not going to take the trip unless I can.
Well, and there's this tendency, there's this tendency to try and, I don't know what the word is. Or those that have multiple searches, that there's this tendency for people to give those people a hard time. It's all about different methods. And I'm gonna give 2 different examples, of myself and Justin. Justin's in 5 years had 1 boots on the ground. I've been in it 3 years and I have 40 plus boots on the ground. Now, a lot of it is for me, it's because of geography. I'm close to the Rocky Mountains. I live within the Rocky Mountains. So, I can search. I can go out my back door and say I'm in the Rocky Mountains and I'm searching. But there's also different search methodologies. And I've talked about this where Justin's is more because of geography and being smart with his finances and time and everything else. He can place himself more like somebody who is a Tesla, who can think from beginning all the way through the 9 clues and go out right to a spot that is a perfect spot. I mean, if you've seen his pictures and what he's done is amazing. It's awesome. And my heart would be racing if I was my first boots on the ground, I walk up there and I see what he saw. That's amazing. But for somebody like me, I'm a little bit different than Justin. One, because of geography, I'm closer and I have more opportunities to do that. But I'm more of not a Tesla, but of an Edison who has to have that step-by-step trial and error. I try something out, I fail, I keep trying, I keep going. But it's not 40 searches in 40 different areas. It's multiple searches in one different area because David and I feel very confident in our search zone. So there's this tendency for people in the search community not understand those difference between a Tesla type searcher and an Edison type searcher, or somebody based on geography that lives within the search area that they're able to search more. So I hate to see people downplay people because they've only had one search. I give Mike Cowlings a little bit of a hard time, and I gave Justin a little bit of a hard time, but it's just that friendly ribbing. It's not meant to be mean to somebody. It's that friendly ribbing going back and forth. But there is a tendency for some people to say, oh, they've had 150 failures or 112 failures or 200 failures. Sure. None of us have failed until we give up on this. None of us have. Different.
I think it's different if you go out for a day and it doesn't cost you other than $50 of gas, and I have to go out for an entire week, work it, and it's $5,000 to go out. And David Kramer's talking about this. Yeah. That's totally different. So if I lived in the Rockies, I wouldn't call them failures. I like how AGK calls them recons. So then they're not failures. They're just
absolutely
hanging out in nature, and that's fine. But the big thing for me is resources and time. How much time can you put in before it becomes a tipping and it's too much? And that's when your spouse.
That's where that 7% comes in.
Well, it's the 5 P.
That 7%
practiced in the military.
Like the 7% exists in all walks of life. It's not just
every facet of our
well, and anytime you put a big pot out there, gambling is another example. I think 7%, it's higher than, I mean, it's an addictive thing to say, I'm going to get that. I'm going to pick up that chest and I'm going to run. That is an adrenaline that a lot of people don't have. Sports, extreme sports people are the same way. So I think there's even more so than the average person. And I just say we need to balance it. And the community coming together, and somebody was bringing it up on AGK about let's kind of police ourselves and make sure we don't get carried away. But also I can tell you the way that Sean searches is going to be very different than what I search. I need to have 10 backup plans because I've been boots on the ground first day in Yellowstone and go, damn, it's not here. Now what do I do? I had backup plans. I know Cynthia does this because you were going out for 5 days. You don't want to leave the other 4.
Yep. But and Treasure Tracer said something in here, and I don't quite understand his question, but let me see if I can pull it back up. The chat's going so fast. He said, at the flip side, a guess would be if you start in the place he designed, you can not only find the hints, but navigate the clues. And I think that goes into a lot of people believe that there's confirmations whenever you get on boots on the ground that give you more confidence or things like that. Sure. You could get in the area and you could see all kinds of things that relate to something that you see in the book, but there's 28,000 words and all kinds of ideas floating around in that book that you could pretty much land, put your finger anywhere on the map in the Rocky Mountains, go to that place, boots on the ground, look around and find all kinds of things that might correlate to one of the stories. And that's why, I talk a lot about there's so much noise out there that sometimes it's just much easier for me to just block out all the noise and just focus on the poem to lead me to that area. And I don't know. I've had a lot of conversation with others and like Anagram and Buddy Allen and stuff on Thor and other places about, how many coincidences will prove confirmation or fact. Yeah. And I just say no amount of coincidences, in my opinion, will ever prove fact or confirmation.
So Justin, what's your next step? Are you moving to a new location? Are you, because you basically published your solve, it's out there. So are you moving? Are you at decal? Are you, like I've been said, I'm a jumper because I jump once a year. And so I'm on my 4th solve. Are you jumping? What are you doing, Justin? What's your next step?
Well, I strategically published.
Where is it? Where did you publish?
Right now.
Okay, that's the point. Like I published, but do you really know where exactly I was searching? But I don't know. There's just so many things, and that's the $1 million question. Like, do you lock in? And this is what I've asked you guys a million times. When do you? It still lines up. Everything lines up perfectly. You saw what a 12-foot searcher looks like. I'm that guy, so it's especially hard for me to leave a spot because I know how easy it is to go there on a different trip, spend all that money, and be in the right spot.
And some people have asked me, how do you let it go? In my opinion, until you publish your solve, you're not letting
the whole solve, state everything. Like
I did 1 to 9. Here it is. Oh, I did one publicly.
The way that I did it, like here, actually, I'll show you the picture of what I was looking at. So that's a great segue. So I go again, 5 years, right? It's got to be perfect because I'm spending money and I only got so much vacation days. And
yeah.
5 years later,
yeah, me too.
I figure out this way that I think is clever in my opinion, and so I'm just like, where Warm Waters halt and the canyon down, and how far to go in particular, right? And so then that takes me to this place that I'm like, whoa, that's a good place to end up, right? So then you solve the rest of the clues up until you're walking up the trail, and then so I get to the point that I'm looking for the blaze. At the end of the day, I'm looking for the blaze. So I take about a week that I'm looking for the blaze, looking around, and then all of a sudden on a Saturday night, bam, the blaze of all blazes pops up at me. Like, I mean, literally.
Blaze of all blazes.
Yeah. Oh my God, this thing is over. Like, it is finished. Like, it is over.
It's blazing. It's blazing.
It is finished.
I'm talking zero doubt. Zero.
It's blazing. Oh my God!
You found a 900-foot salamander
right now. You are.
Right, no, I'm every researcher that's on boards. Everybody thinks they're the girl. Everybody thinks they're solving. Look, I would argue that when Sean brought up that 12-foot thing, I would argue that 90% think they're the person that's talking.
Yeah, that's
crazy. The gut feeling. We asked on Thorn. You're probably one of the yesers. 25 people said he's talking about me. I'm going to get.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so I get there. I'm like, it is over. Like I'm flying up there.
We've all been there. It's awesome.
Like everybody's done. Like,
everyone's delusional. Everyone.
We're all 7%ers.
Finally figured this out. Like literally the best blaze of all blazes in a spot that's perfect. That it makes all the sense in the world.
Come on, what did it look like?
And so you go up there, and at the time, like one of the solves for like finding the blaze is, and I'll let that out. It's like if it could be as easy as no ledge. Like instead of knowledge, it's know the ledge that you're supposed to go on.
Yeah.
And so that's always been one. There's the owl. There's everything that over 5 years that you read about. Like you're just like, I'm open to anything. Like I am open to whatever. But then you find this like literally out of a book. And so you walk up there and you get up there and I can't find Blaze. And I'm like, I have the GPS coordinates. Like where did it go? Right? Yeah. And this happens like I'm sure to other people too. It's like literally I confirmed that it was there. Like, back to like
was it natural or man-made is what Mountain Digger was.
100% natural. And so I go back to the archives and I can prove it's there before the hunt starts. Like it's there before the hunt starts. Like I already had proven that.
So Forrest Fenn moved the treasure.
No, not that again.
You moved it again? Oh, what's it like the fourth time?
The blaze.
He moved the blaze. He moved the blaze.
So like your heart's just pounding. Like I'm gonna see this blaze. I'm going up there. I'm getting the chest. I get up on where I think I'm supposed to stand because I think it's a horseshoe, and so like I'm thinking that's where you're supposed to stand. I can't find it at all, and so then, but I've already confirmed. I would not have taken the trip if I didn't know that it was there.
Yeah. Did anything look familiar based on Google Earth?
It was all in my mind's eye. Like it was all mapped out already. Like I had.
Yeah, and I think this is the biggest deciding point for you, Justin. You are now going to be the one that never can let go of your solve 5 years from now, or you're going to possibly.
See, remember that funnel, that coin funnel?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't have a problem moving on. Like I have no problem moving on. But so I can't find the blaze. So then the next day I walk down to the blaze, right?
Yeah.
So I walk down to the blaze and I see. So remember, I can't find it anymore. I see this under literally
under the blaze. Look quickly down from the blaze.
Right. Holy shit! It's Oprah.
But Terry.
But Terry. Yeah.
But Terry.
Now, this is 3 feet, right? This is about 3 feet tall.
Oh, okay. That's a giant.
Hole. Yeah, there's a huge hole underneath it. So what's on top? What's supposed to be on top is not there, but since I had it all marked out with GPS, it should.
Really?
It's correct. It's right. So, as I go alone in there, right? It took me, because remember, I'm from Dallas, so I'm not like out in the country. It took me 20 minutes of pumping myself up. You have to go in there. You cannot not go in there. And I did not want to.
They know shit
at all.
Were you
black hole? And it was just
that's definitely below the Homer Brown right there.
What? You get what I'm saying, DeCal? So you like?
Yeah. Oh my God!
Justin and
I'm glad you bring it up. Forrest says Donnie said I couldn't find my butt with 2 hands of flash.
Oh, yeah, I did. There it is.
Oh. There's your spectacular blaze. Fully aligned.
When you go to get the treasure, he's going to be like, "How'd you like my Homer Brown, huh?"
So I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm a sleep. I don't want to go in there, so I'm pumping myself up. So finally, I get the courage to go in there. And then it's just like, oh my God! It's like, well, after I come back because I can't find it. And again,
come on, you didn't go in there?
Oh yeah,
you went in there.
Oh
yeah. And it's, I'm like, again, but like it's exactly like that place in Breakfast Museum. They're all like rocks. So it's like there's overbrush, but it's just it's literally a hill of rocks. And so which rock do you pull? And so like I'm pulling all these rocks, and then I find some other stuff that's interesting that I'm not going to go into. a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
That'll be on the Encore, guys.
I was going to say every gynecologist in the world's going, I know what the hell he found in there.
I go in there.
Right. And so you guys are making fun, but like literally you're thinking, oh, right? I don't care if the blaze is not there. Like this is over. Like
this is Fenn's legacy, to be sure.
So,
below the Homer Brown.
At what point do you say that's not the spot?
Crack of the National Forest.
Justin, you have not said if you have a search partner because you and Decall need to partner.
I've got your salamander right here, buddy.
Why don't we have a picture of your leg sticking out of that? Now that would be the picture that we all need.
Awesome.
No, but that's cool. I mean, even the shadow, the shading on there is like it looks almost custom built by God right there.
Yep.
Hey,
custom built by God. That's right. That's what every father says about his daughter.
Right?
Yeah.
Custom built by God. Instantly, the first thing I think of, like you guys are laughing, but instantly, like I've read the book so many times, it's oh my God, this is his butt. Like he's talking about his butt. Like that's
but Terry Scant got you below the Homer Brown. Got you.
That's why he says it's best to have gloves, folks.
Right.
Hell is that?
You gotta get it. You gotta reach in there, folks, and get
so,
it.
like you guys are laughing, but like literally, you need a flashlight to go in there. There's a rock that looks like a butt, and there's a few holes you got to go into.
Yep. Whoever finds this treasure whoever finds this treasure will be the butt of Forrest Fenn's joke.
And like you guys are laughing, but I'm pumped up. Like this is it.
You're pumped up to go in there.
No, that's right.
I was not pumped up to go in there. I was scared to death. But so anyway, you're in there, and you're just like pulling around.
We're gonna need a larger speculum, folks. We're gonna need a larger speculum.
Clean up aisle 9.
Bring in the extraction crew.
Roger.
Bring in the Jolly Green. We're gonna need the Jolly Green to pull Justin out of the Forrest Fenn's by crack jokes.
That's going in.
And Justin, this is the part that you go, one of these days I'm going to have that chest and screw them on flip side.
Yeah. And I'm coming back and I'm showing them my nuggets.
Hey, so you remember this? This is the part. This is the part where I go, there's the butt. And so I leave the butt and somebody else goes in the butt and finds it. So
and they get a flute?
Get the treasure.
No, not the flute.
Let's date a girl that knew how to play the flute.
What image are you trying to show us? That wasn't
it.
I
was just saying, like, I'm going to be the guy again.
Okay, let me ask you, Justin. Let me ask you.
Somebody goes
when you solve the clues for the flute game, what the hell is that game called?
Breakfast, tea, and
bourbon.
Okay, when you solve those clues, how did the correct solution feel? Was it comfortable? Did it ring true?
That's what literally I talked to.
Stroke the shaft and cup the balls.
Come on, I want to hear this. I want to hear this. Tell me, Justin.
My wife, like, she thinks I'm crazy with all this kind of stuff, but she's like, this is the exact same way that you were when you solved breakfast, tea, and bourbon. And it was like when I solved literally up to the blaze, like it was literally, well, particularly when I solved the where warm water salt candy down too far to walk.
No, Justin, I'm talking about in breakfast, tea, and bourbon. How did those clues feel?
It was the same exact feeling. Like it was,
okay. That's what I'm
oh
wondering.
My God, this is how it is, and this is the trickery that's happening.
Yeah.
This is why it's so hard. I figured it out. Like you put that with, I mean, it was the exact same feeling.
Confirmation bias overload.
Right.
Okay, but Paul, you're saying that to him, but you're 800-foot salad.
I know. I'm suffering the same illness. I'm suffering the same sickness.
I
right?
love it when somebody.
And this is what I think. Like what we talked about. But what we talked about in the pre-meeting, I had partners with the breakfast, tea, and bourbon.
Yeah.
I had the right solve, and I told them I GoPro'd the whole thing. I watched the video, and they didn't even believe I was right.
Yeah. Do they respect you? Do they respect you more now? Your team?
No.
Not really.
Well, wait, but Justin, I've shared.
But that's what I think the moral of the story is. I had the right solve,
and still no one respects you.
Yeah,
no, but here's the thing. I did a very small hunt. It was $1,000 coin, and my 8-year-old son at the time was like, "It's a bend. It was supposed to be a bend. It was a bend in a tree limb," and he's like, "It's right there." And we walked by, and I said no, and I discounted him, and I said, "You're going to go your first boots on the ground." And he goes, "Will you at least listen to me? Because this treasure chest is a little bit more expensive, and I really want it this time." We've all done that, but that doesn't mean stick with the solve that may not. And I'm not saying it is or isn't, because I don't have the chest. I'm not knowledgeable. Forrest is. But I think this is the decision point of, do you stick with your solve or do you move to something else? And that's where you have to go through all the so
what do you do? In my scenario, what do you do?
Burn your book.
What I would do now, here's what I did with my last solve. I loved it. I gave it to my search partner and I gave it to Cynthia. And Cynthia was actually up within 100 miles of the location. And I thought, she's going to run and get it, is what I thought. No, she didn't do it. She said, no, here's the flaws in it. And once you either publish it or you give it to a couple of trusted people and they say, no, here's why, I then move on. But so that's what I would suggest, is give it to a couple people that never will leave their location. D-Call will never leave his location.
That's right.
David and I will never leave our location.
We'll never leave it. In fact, I'm building a condominium there right now.
That's where because
right on top of the treasure chest.
A like-minded person. You can give it to a like-minded person, and I would, like, if somebody gives me the right solve and I don't think it's right, I'm wrong, and I tell them that I don't agree with it, they should still lock in. I think so. You really have to, and that's to your point. There is the fine line of, when do I leave, when do I stay, when do I give up completely because I'm not good. But
and that's different for each person. You look at Illinois Ghost that says, I'm going out several hundred times. And you look at D-Call that says, I can't go out that many times, but I won't give it up. Then you have me that says, I'm giving up. Sean, you used to be up in Yellowstone, I heard from somebody. So, and now you're in a different look. So some people jump. Cynthia, she jumps around every day. And so I think it's different for each person and their situation.
Yeah. When your wife looks at you and means it, like you're out of the house if you go to Montana one more time. Believe it, okay? Just believe it, guys.
Well, then I'll
but it's more than that.
Well, what happens if you get kidnapped, DeCall? What happens if you get kidnapped like Decoy did?
I have a welding job in Montana.
Yeah, exactly. You need a welding job in Montana or somewhere.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, I need someone I'm stealing Decoy to say, Decoy, you're coming with me.
Yeah, so Saturday night. What happened on Saturday? What was that night? The night that you guys were all at the bar?
Oh, Lord.
I don't know what you're talking
That's confidential.
And that's why God sent a hurricane to North Carolina.
We're getting close to an hour here, folks, and we're going to wrap it up. But Mountain Digger had a question for you, Minotaur Moreno. He said, but Minotaur Moreno, you're saying the final clue is the blaze? Is that?
I'm saying I'm open to anything. But, I mean, in this particular solve, it was under the blaze, yeah.
For you, your final clue was the blaze.
But I'm not saying that, again, I'm open to anything. I don't feel like you should be locked into anything, because I think you got to figure out what he's thinking, not what you want.
Yep.
I tell Sean all the time, be damned the searcher that rules out anything.
Right. Yeah, because Minotaur Moreno makes a good point. I mean, his whole breakfast tea and bourbon, he was 12 feet away from that thing. He was on top of that brown rock. He moved things away from it, and he still didn't find it.
That's humbling to
if Forrest Fenn doesn't know, like he's told Rick, and he's told me that he is better not to answer that question for whatever reason. I mean, Forrest Fenn could have ignored Illinois Ghost and I's question. He could have completely ignored him. There's been several questions that, anyone in this chat room right now can probably attest to, that they've asked him questions or sent him their solve or anything, and he's never responded to them. I mean, we've all gone through that. I mean, geez, each and every one of us have gone through that. So why does he even answer that question? To me,
maybe he's hinting that someone has been within 12 feet or up to 12 feet away.
But he said, I'm rarely told exactly where searchers are searching, so I don't know if
but here's the thing. If he doesn't answer at all, we don't talk about it. If he answers, he's not answering, we talk about it. So I think he's figured out.
Either way.
If he answers something, I'm like, did he say no, or did he say no way, or did he say I won't answer that, or that's too much of a hint, and we go down the bunny hole. So I think he wanted to give us something, but then didn't want to answer enough. Who am I?
Hey, let me say something, a little different subject. I want to say how talented Christy is, what a great job you did in Santa Fe. I was impressed.
Wait, the video's having trouble. Wait, what's going on?
No, I was impressed. I was impressed with the way she can speak in public. I usually fumble around when I'm speaking in public, but she didn't fumble once It was just smooth, wonderful. She ran everything like clockwork. She had everything written down. She didn't lose track of a single thing. And
I don't think all that's true, but thank you.
No,
I think she was high as a fucking kite.
It was excellent what you did.
Oh my God. Just drop David off.
Yeah.
I think everybody could see and was
mute him. I'll mute him for you. Hold on.
Was impressed by how that event went, and that was a good job.
Thank you. That was it. It was a blast. I do have to say, and for those of you saying some things in the chat room, it was fun. It was fun during the event, but it was really fun once, and it was so much work. We did really cut loose by the end.
You were well prepared. I thought it was excellent. I was very impressed. Very impressed. Good job.
Thank you.
Right on, guys. We're right at the hour phase, so I want to kind of try and wrap this thing up and move on. So, get last words to Justin. Justin, what are you going to do now? Like you've gone to your solve now. Are you going to stick it out? Or are you going to refine it? What's your plans?
I'm still debating. Like I really don't know. Like I love my Where Warm Waters Halt, and I love my Canyon Down to Too Far to Walk. Debatable the rest of it, even though it all lines up, and I can't find a better one. And that I don't know. I'm still in the humble licking wounds phase of
the walk of shame. What are they calling that?
Honest, like I'm still in that phase of just.
Dude, you're a member of the 100% club. You've been boots on the ground, 100% fail. Welcome to the club, baby.
We're all in it. We're all in it together. Really.
We're all in it, man.
The cool part was right before you left, it was like, okay, if he sticks with it, you're in the club now. It's awesome. It's like, welcome.
Right.
Yeah. You're in the fail club.
Can I promised some people that I would give the coordinates too at some point.
Okay. Well, let's go down that. Go for that.
Yeah. Well,
all right. So about 3-4 years ago, I found this in the poem, right? And if I share it right. This is what I promised people at Thor and Chase Chat that I would give them.
At Thor.
Did you say Thor?
Did you say Thor?
So here it is. So I'll explain it to you. So this is not how I usually do it, but again, since I'm doing every methodology possible, like even poem purist, cipher, whatever, I'm looking at everything. So when I'm doing the cipher, I eventually find this, which is just line up, even though it works backwards. Remember in the My War for Me, there's where he gets hit by the firing. He goes down 250 degrees, does a whifferdale, which goes up and then comes back down, which I had to look up what that even meant. And then you come back down, and then he got hit right where he's down here, and he gets hit, and then he goes out at a 30-degree angle. So if you go out to 30-degree angle. So if you look at one, if you move one over, up 3, you go from J to F, right?
Oh, pattern, yeah.
So it goes J, F, E, F, I, all the way J, F, E, F, I, V.
But why not some of the letters that you skip? Like N is in there, and there's R.
Because it's up 3.
You go
a pattern.
Up 3.
Got it. Thank you. I'm a little slow. I got it.
And then for this one, you go down 1 over 3.
Got it. I got it. Okay.
Or it's 1, 2, 3. Down 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But like the same combination goes. So anyway, so you get right. What you do is if it has a double number, then you just drop the first number. It gives you these numbers, which you put into coordinates, which leads you to Valles Calderas, mountain of Cerro Seco in the bald spot.
I'm just Calazar. Do you like it or you don't like it?
We just lost 10 people. They just ran out to their cars and headed for that spot.
Hey,
Rat bastards.
You can have it.
Oh.
I'm very
area. That's a popular area up there.
I'll tell you, Justin, I'm skeptical. I'm very, very skeptical. This is not storytelling at all. But I don't care. Fine. Again, knock yourself out.
Right. Again,
Have you ever seen the Bible code? This is just like the Bible code.
Yeah.
I am not a cipher guy. I'm simply telling you that it's there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You know what? It's interesting that it is there.
I've got a few things that are there that everybody hates too.
Yeah, you got some shit that's not there too, Brother Thomas.
I like punctuation. Apparently, everybody else hates it.
I'm just kidding with you, brother. Oh yeah, punctuation is the shit. Let me tell you.
Well, for instance, in the first line of the poem, you got 111, which could be the same thing you're saying, a coordinate.
Yes,
I've got arsenic, which I believe points to Yellowstone. So
I do like the arsenic. I like that a lot.
It's not a bad idea.
No, it's not a bad idea at all.
Well, here's something interesting about arsenic. The highest level of arsenic in the Rocky Mountains is that 10 miles of river that Fenn mentioned. Literally, that's the highest arsenic you can find in any water source. Is that 10 miles of river? So that's kind of cool. And if the first word of the poem points to that 10 miles of river, that's kind of, and arsenic and gold are yellow stones. But
hey, the other thing I'll give out that I really love, even though I don't use it for anything, of how he talks about yellow and purple flowers.
Yeah.
Stone mixed with Purple Mountain at the Madison Junction.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a proper noun even. If you mix Purple Mountain with Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Brown.
Wow, nice.
You guys partner up.
Well, we do think alike, Minotaur and I, because we're always agreeing on stuff together.
I agree with that.
But who the hell knows? I mean, he walked right past the last one. He's probably walking right.
Man, don't keep telling him that.
Yeah, you're supposed to go in the front door, Justin, not the back door, buddy.
I'll be the guy.
There's a window. That's the other thing. There's a window on the other side.
Rock the brown, baby. Rock the brown. Rock the brown.
I was too excited.
Too excited about the window.
You're right.
You don't remember that day.
You gotta know yourself. You gotta know when you step back.
But Justin, the cool part is, even though we're all zinging you a little bit and having fun with it,
she's gonna say it. Here we go.
We've done exactly the same thing. It's so awesome that you're like, it's exactly what we felt, and it's awesome. And it's you're like, it's the community part. That's
you're normal, brother.
You're normal. That's great. All the crazy people say you're normal.
That's right. Yeah, you ain't amongst the 7% yet.
I see H-Pert is mentioning Harlequin Lake, which is just down from Madison Junction. I've looked in that area previously before my trip up to Yellowstone. I know where.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's even there. I'm just saying I love that.
It's a good area.
Yeah, I just love that Homo Brown because it's a proper noun and.
Yep. All right, on guys. Well, we are a little bit over the hour mark, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. And just want to first of all thank everybody in the chat room. I can't see how many people we've had in there tonight, but we've obviously had a great chat going. There's been a lot of communication in the chat, and again, this show wouldn't be anything without you guys in the chat room. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk with you guys and get your feedback and have fun, and we feed off of you guys. Sometimes we ignore you, sometimes we talk to you, but tonight was a great night, and the show wouldn't be anything without you guys, subscribing to the channel and giving it likes and being here every time we're on to support us. So we appreciate that. We love having Justin in here with us and sharing his story, especially and his experience of being that close to that treasure and still not being able to find it. Not trying to rub it in, but I mean, the fact
it's cool.
That's
it's a cool
so
story.
possible. I mean, that says a lot about how easy it is to possibly overlook this if you
Hey,
are
Sean,
even within 12 feet of this. Yes.
Sean, we ain't nothing but audio because Justin still got his map up. So everybody in the room is just seeing Justin's.
I'm seeing everybody.
Yep.
You're seeing us in Zoom.
No. I'm seeing in my
your dreams.
No, over on my here. Well,
I don't see anybody saying anything over there in chat.
I'm seeing nothing but his gimmick.
No,
I'm not seeing your gimmick. That's not what I mean. Not your gimmick.
I won't take offense.
I hope that's not a gimmick.
Well, you know, well, if it's a gimmick, then it's Willie's gimmick.
Anyway, guys,
Oh, no,
it's been a great night. We've had a really fun night, and just want to once again thank everybody from the chat room for coming to join us tonight. Want to thank my fellow co-hosts, DeCall, David, Christy, and Justin, our special guest, for coming and joining us. So we just want to say good night to you all. Again, if you like this show, please give it a thumbs up. We enjoy that. If you don't like it and you don't like us, if you think Justin's a goofy guy, which we all know he is, give it a thumbs down, whatever. We don't care. You know, we're glad that you guys showed up too.
Justin. It's Justin. If
we'll see you guys next week.
Peanut butter.
Anyway, guys, it's been a real fun night, and we will hope to catch you all on the flip side. Good night, folks.
Facebook/